I am an angel. You are a demon.
Hello, I'm Sophia Jessica, and welcome to the fan carpet.
Well, I play the angel Aziraphale.
Yes, and I play the demon Crowley.
And they have both been on Earth, representing their respective head offices, since the Garden of Eden. I've been trying to keep mankind on the straight and narrow.
Yeah, and I've been trying to corrupt it. But as the millennia go on, they realise that actually they could help each other out. As effectively they cancel each other out anyway. They can do what they need to do and slightly cut down the workload.
So they help out the other team when they're busy, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then it turns out that the end times are coming because this one is charged with bringing the Antichrist into the world.
Yes. So therefore I say, listen, we're about to lose our cushy number living on Earth and enjoying all the things that mortals enjoy, like wine and nice dinners.
Yes.
So we set out to make sure that we can live on Earth, that Earth can continue, and that we don't have to give up all of the niceties we've come to enjoy.
So we try and avert the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Angel, demon work together to avert the apocalypse.
Yeah, there's your tagline.
There you go.
Well, I didn't know anything about it. I hadn't read the books beforehand. I went in for the meeting with Douglas, and I was just like intrigued that what he wanted to do, the part, was keep it quite real and not try and overact or try something new with it. He just wanted to keep it all quite centered. So it's kind of quite a dream job to do, really. And I played Ligur, so what more do you want? He's a devil.
Anathema device is the descendant of Agnes Nutter, and she kind of lives her life through these prophecies, and she's not very good at following them, but has kind of had a dictation her whole life of what was going to happen. And the big question is kind of, is she going to live her life as this descendant and continue knowing what's going to happen, or try to discover what's going to happen, or is she really going to start living by what her heart tells her and her own opinions? And I kind of really like that about her. I think the first time I've played a role where I'm not the girlfriend of, or the nurse, or Anathema really is a well-rounded character, and I think Neil is brilliant at writing female characters, and I'm so lucky.
I'm only really a small bit, actually. It's I don't know what I meant to say. Armageddon on a motorway on the M25 with Steve Oram needing to do a wee. Yeah, that's pretty much it. An argument in a car. So but it was incredible, yeah, because they had the whole motorway taken over with millions of cars, and then the whole sky opened up. Literally, it happened.
At the start, he's just a normal kid, sort of living a normal life, and just having quite a good time. It takes him through the possible end of the world, so high stakes.
Well, I think my angel has got a lot of devil in him, and David's demon has got a good soul.
Yes, he's not that bad, really.
Yeah.
They complete each other. They are the yin to each other's yang.
You had me at hell. Hey?
Yeah,
How about that?
nice.
I just made that one up.
Very good, very good. But it is, you're right. It's a buddy movie, really. They are bound together through all eternity.
They're sort of the ultimate odd couple.
Yeah.
It's got a rom-com thing to it,
It does
You've got
a
these
little
two
bit.
characters who sort of don't get along to begin with. So you know they're going to end up in each other's arms, psychologically speaking.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, representatives of heaven and hell having a good time on earth, and suddenly along comes the Antichrist, and it spoils all the fun they've been having. I mean, I love the fact they were like these two characters who, one represented heaven, one hell, and they found a little quiet island somewhere called Earth, and they were having a wonderful time. They divided up the place, and each got to do what they wanted to do, and as long as they keep this going, life was great. And then along comes Armageddon. It always ruins everything. Armageddon has always been a ruiner of good parties.
The heart of the story was Terry Pratchett and I getting together over 30 years ago and deciding to write a novel about an angel and a demon working together to stop the apocalypse from happening, to stop Armageddon. And because we liked the world, both of us, Terry and me, and we thought it was a really good place and it was worth saving. And we wanted to write about that. What's happened since Terry, we tried to make it into a film for many years. Terry Gilliam tried to make it into a film. Then Terry Gilliam actually suggested we make it into a TV show. We looked for somebody to do it for us. We couldn't find anybody. And finally, about 5 years ago, Terry said, he wrote me a letter and he said, you have to do this. I know how busy you are, but you have to write it and make a show that I can watch before the lights go out. And I said, okay. And then Terry died, which meant suddenly this had become a last request. So I came back from Terry's funeral and started to write the first episode. And it took 2 years to get to the point where we started shooting. And it took 2 years to get from there to now, because it was a long, long shoot and then almost a year of post-production. There's so much CGI, special effects, amazing things. And now I'm here absolutely dazed and looking around at a green carpet, this first ever Leicester Square premiere for a TV show, and I'm just so proud of what we brought to the world.
This story is so special because it tells a story about the modern world. It reflects it, because it's really about how being polarized in politics and life doesn't get you very far. Whereas if an angel and a demon can get on together over the whole of time, then maybe the rest of us can get on together as well.
I was never going to play the demon. There was a sort of misunderstanding between me and Neil that we thought each other thought that I was going to play that part, and I thought I'm not good enough to play that part. So we found someone good enough, thank goodness, to actually pull it off.
No, I think it was, for me it was just, Michael was always on board, so I just read the script and thought, what a fantastic part, and I get to play opposite Michael Sheen. What could be finer?
I've known Michael for about a decade. Michael was actually there with me when Terry Gilliam suggested we do it for television. I started sending Michael the scripts as I was writing them just for comments. Somewhere in there I thought maybe he'd make a good Crowley. And then I realized as I was writing it that I wanted David Tennant for Crowley, and I wanted Michael for Aziraphale. And Michael and I had an incredibly awkward and embarrassing dinner when I had to break it to him that I wanted him to be Aziraphale, not Crowley, and he was a little too nervous to break to me that he'd read the scripts and didn't want to play Crowley but really wanted to play Aziraphale. So we were very, very awkward at each other for most of the meal, and finally I explained, and he was like so relieved, and I had my Crowley, and then we approached David, and we had our Aziraphale, and I thought, now I need my angel Gabriel, and I wrote an email to John Hamm because I knew that he'd been a fan of Good Omens when he was at school, and he said yes. And really, I have the world's greatest cast here, and I have it because pretty much everybody we asked said yes. If they could do it, they said yes. So we got the Derek Jacobys, Miranda Richardson, Adria Arjona, we got Mark Gatiss and all of the League of Gentlemen come in and just do these wonderful little parts for us. It's so glorious.
I mean, on the days when it was just me and David, which was a lot, we would have a lovely time just hanging out. But then we'd have these amazing actors, some of which are here tonight, who would pop in every now and again, and then it was just like a party.
Yes, it just sort of kept getting better and better, the people that kept turning up.
Yeah.
And even after we finished filming, then other people were coming on and being part of the show. It just sort of kept growing and growing and growing. When I finally saw one of the episodes and the credits come up at the start, there were actors in there I didn't even know we had in the show who got added in later. It's an incredible roll call.
Because I'm not with them all the time, I saw them a lot in hair and makeup together, and they're kind of the same. They work symbiotically really cool, and they're just really funny and kind, and I don't know. We just had such a good time. It's hard. We also filmed this 2 years ago, so now it's hard for me to remember. But they're amazing.
Well, they have a really good chemistry on screen. They're obviously just such great actors on screen, and without they're great people. I think it's just that. Yeah.
I mean, it was amazing to work with such accomplished and successful actors. I think I learned a lot, and it's just been an amazing experience in that sense. It's such a nice atmosphere on set, and it's just an amazing experience that you should enjoy.
They are just so brilliant in it, yeah, because I saw most of it the other day. Well, their chemistry is incredible. Because they're both, they're just both such brilliant actors, but they go between the dark and light, and they mix it, I suppose, because they're both interested and interesting enough to kind of mix that up. It's very magical, but the humour between them is brilliant. But it's also it's like a love story between them. It's really something else. It's got a lot of layers. They're both just such brilliant actors, you know.
I think it's their lightness of touch and not being able to take themselves too seriously, and always seem to just it just taps into our humour and our dark humour. That's what I think it is. Yeah, that's really it.
Yeah, absolutely. The unique fit above anything else is the magic that they created between them. So they'd been in the same movie together, but they'd never acted together. And within 20 minutes of our read-through, these guys were just singing together, dancing together. It was absolutely beautiful. You'll see it on the screen. It's a proper, beautiful magic. We couldn't have expected anything more. It is incredible. The magic that they create is fantastic.
Well, Neil and Terry Pratchett actually wrote the characters as one character to start with, and then split them apart. And in a way, that's what it feels like when you see them on screen. It feels like it's two characters dancing around each other and trying to make it one. So that's what it was like.
We were in Bright Young Things that Stephen Fry directed, but we never had any scenes together. And we've known each other for a long time, and I've been a huge fan of David's work. So when we came to be able to act together, you never know how it's going to go until you actually start doing it. But it was sort of beyond my wildest dreams. It was.
They're both amazing because it mixes it's so apt to what's going on now with the world in a really sort of surreal and comical and dramatic way. It's like a clock. It kind of goes around the whole world with it. It's because it's political and surreal and funny and complicated and interesting. I mean, Neil's a genius. They both are. It's totally amazing. So, yeah, I'm really chuffed to be in it. It's great.
Oh, absolutely. Well, there's always going to be things that we would have to lose out of the book to make it fit. So even if you've got 6 hours, you'd want 7 hours or 8 hours or 9 hours. So you would always want more time. So some things had to be cut. But to make certain things more coherent, some characters had to be maybe melded together. And in fact, the angel Gabriel was a character that Neil and Terry had spoken about during the writing of Good Omens. But in the writing of the screenplay, Neil needed somebody to fit that bill. Somebody at head office, the really pedantic boss. However hard you're trying, he always wants you to try harder, and that's Gabriel.
Neil felt like most of the book translates pretty straightforwardly into the screen, but he also felt like he wanted to build on some of the structures and the hierarchies, and one of them was the relationship between God and Beelzebub. Between the devil and Beelzebub, and then between God and the Archangel Gabriel. And also, we just wanted John Hamm.
We were in South Africa for a very long time, and there wasn't a day I could say that I had a bad day at work. It was just every day the best day.
Well, I think Neil took that very, very seriously as a sort of last wish of Terry's. So Terry was very present throughout the filming of it, and in fact, I believe his hat and scarf are going to be in the audience tonight, so he's sort of with us tonight at the premiere as well. So I think that was Neil really took that on board, and I think we felt as well. It's hard not to feel the pressure of all the fans of the book. It's so beloved, and I'm one of them. I read it 30 years ago when it first came out, and so to be able to be part of bringing it to the screen felt like a huge responsibility, but it was just a joy really in the end. It's so beautifully written, there's so many amazing people in it, we just had a real laugh.
I think because Neil had written the scripts and was showrunning the whole thing, that took the pressure off us to an extent, because it felt like, well, yes, this book is beloved, and yes, there's a huge expectation and desire to see this adaptation, but we've got the boss here, or one of the bosses. So if any decision we made, as long as Neil approved it, we knew we were on relatively safe ground.
Yeah. Well, it looks like a movie. It looks like a very, very expensive movie, and yet there's 6 hours of it on TV. That's incredible, and we have been very, very blessed with a wonderful production designer, Michael Ralph, who's created this wonderful look for Good Omens. We couldn't be happier. It's unbelievable.
Probably one of the best things I've ever worked on. It comes right down from the cast, the crew, Neil's just amazing. Douglas just kind of created something, a feat that was really difficult to do, and he just seemed to bring it together. You felt as if Terry Pratchett was always in the room. So it was like one of those kind of like, we were lucky.
Well, they're important and iconic because I like their work. That's why. It's as simple as that. I mean, it was years ago when Neil, Terry, and I met, and we were talking about doing Good Omens as a film. And I spent quite a bit of time. We wrote a script, cinema script. Johnny Depp was going to be in it, Robin Williams. But in a strange way, it's better to be a 6-part television series because we had to throw out so much of the book to squeeze into 2 hours and 10 minutes. So I'm excited to see what they've done.
I never had the privilege of meeting Terry, but I'm told by all concerned that he would have loved what we've done, so that's good enough for me.
Me and Ned Dennehy getting chased by a bull. And we weren't filming.
The challenge is, it turns out that Good Omens just happens to be just about everybody's favourite book. So Michael Sheen's favourite book, John Hamm's favourite book, that's quite a responsibility. And then you've got a crew of hundreds, and it's a beloved book to all of those people, or those guys as well. So obviously you want to do your best by the book. So the biggest challenge is the book. Every day was the book. And having Terry Pratchett sitting on your shoulder telling you not to mess up, that was a challenge for me personally.
No, the big secret of stunts like that is to make them look dangerous and not be dangerous. We've got a whole mixture of real effects plus CGI in a way that you couldn't have done a few years ago on television, but which we did to a great extent on this.
It would have been nice because I actually did a lot of interesting storyboards that I don't think will be in what we're watching tonight, because I thought quite a bit about it. And I think their work was so good. To read the book the first time was astonishing, and then to find out that Hollywood studios had no interest in it, even though it had sold millions by then. And that's been part of the problem with dealing with Hollywood. So, and that was with Johnny Depp before Pirates of the Caribbean. So.
That's a great question. It's a really accessible book, and it's a really accessible show. So I think that's why. The book reads like a movie. A very hard to adapt movie, but it reads like a movie. And in fact, for me, now is the only time and the only place in time and space where it could have happened, because TV being what it is now with the streamers, allowing us to make a 6-hour movie. So that's a very important thing for me, very important thing, that only now could we have done this amazing thing.
People can do what they want. I like making, and I like what other people do, making films and TV that can be read by different people in different ways. I think that's wonderful. People always project their own idea of the world onto whatever they see. So good luck to them.
I think the fans will love things like the seance, and I think they'll love things like Crowley driving the car when it's on fire, and I think those are amazing things. And also the bookshop goes on fire, which everybody's all worried about. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they react to that.
Well, it's done, and I think it's a wonderful film. That's what was nice. Fuck the audience. I was just interested in would I be satisfied at the end of the day, and I am. So. No, and the reactions are great. It's really good. So I'm happy. My problem is it has been part of my life for so long. There's a big void there. I don't know what to do now. But anyway, that part of my life is finished. That's a good bit. I'm looking for something to do. I don't know what I'm going to do next. Now I've got Quixote out of my system. I'm looking around, but I think what I liked about Good Omens more than many of the other books, the combination of Neil and Terry became more interesting, because Terry's world is very complete, but with Neil in there, it started getting pulled apart in different ways, and that's what I liked about it.
You won't find a more dedicated fan of the book than myself. I adore the book, I love the book, and I always have done since the early 1990s when it was published. For new viewers of the series who've come into Good Omens for the first time, I would love them to pick up the book. I would love them to refer back to the book. So watch the series and then spend the next fortnight reading the book. That's what I'd really love for it. That's what I'd love to happen, and I think that you'll get a completely different experience from the novel. But having watched the show first, that's great to do it that way round. But also, the alternate, also you'll get a lot from it.
They can expect something that's completely unlike all the other shows. It's amazing in its own way, so it's unique in that way, and it's really good.
It's really funny. It's just an amazing show altogether. The fans are going to absolutely love it. It's really great.
I think what excited me the most was that I was able to play a woman that was well-rounded and had desires and was doing something. It was actually propelling the story forward. That was really exciting, working with Michael and David and John and all these incredible actors. I mean, it was one after the other, and being able to work with Neil and Doug, all of those things were exciting. And I think the fans are really going to see that book that they once imagined in their head come to life in such an exciting and thrilling way. And for people that haven't seen the book, I think it's a story that is so relatable, and it has no age. I showed it to my 9-year-old brother, I showed it to my grandmother, and they all seem to love it.
This is entirely a fully blown movie premiere, and there's David Tennant just over there doing his stuff. No. Did I ever expect this? No. I thought we might have a cast and crew screening. I thought we might have something for our families. I never expected this, ever. Thank you, Amazon. Thank you, BBC. This is incredible.
Thank you for watching The Fan Carpet. Please follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram for more content next time.
To the world. To the world.
Thank you for watching The Fan Carpet. If you like this video, be sure to click that thumbs up button at the bottom of your screen. And also be sure to subscribe to the Fan Carpet YouTube channels. They're absolutely free and so much fun too. Be sure to check out the official website, thefancarpet.com. Also, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to stay up to date with reviews, competitions, the latest news, and so much more.